Hello, sisters, and welcome to the Sagittarian New Moon activation. This energy for me, and for so many that I know, has come with such a deep relief. The energy that we've been in with this Scorpio Taurian eclipse energy, this eclipse energy began the new moon before Taurus. So the full moon before Taurus, and then it's going through all the way up until this new moon. And I can't say that that energy is not going to be felt throughout the entire year. It kind of flavors the entire year. However, this deep, intense excavation of your soul, it's like it's coming to an end, and it's bringing forth and activating. This new moon is bringing forth and activating a really deep breath within me and within the astrology when I look at it. And when I think of Sagittarius, it's this beautiful invitation to come out of that depths and come into our own self-development. It's not about just about kind of discovering who I am. It's like, I am here. It's not coming into this energy and saying, you know, who am I and how do I work with this energy to become more of me? Yes, there's an element of that. There's always an element of that within our new moons. But this new moon for me really talks and feels about, I am here. I am ready. And how will I use my spiritual practice, my own self-devotion, to create a pathway within my own life, a portal of energy within my own life, so that I can remain true to myself, so that I can consciously choose the reality in which I am creating, and I can consciously, you know, step up and come into alignment with our truth and the alignment with our soul, because that kind of unveiling and unraveling the hidden deep dark mysteries of what Scorpio has sort of brought to us in this eclipse season. And also the Taurian, you know, how am I worthy, and how do I nurture myself? All of these, you know, unravelings are coming through, and it's, you know, all of these pieces play in together for this new moon activation. And as we activate through this new moon, I'm going to invite us to remember that every single new moon, the day and a half before the new moon, and even 3 days before the new moon peak, we have what's called the balsamic moon phase. If you'd like to know more about the moon phases, for those of you who aren't in Lunar Woman, then you can go jump on the link down below and join Lunar Woman and really start aligning your life with the moon phases and moving with the moon, which means mastering your emotions and being able to actually move into that space within yourself, that you understand yourself so well that you can actually work with the triggers, you can work with the shadow, you can work with the beautiful elements of yourself that have been rejected and denied by, you know, by your caregivers, by society. You've been told that, you know, you can't bring that part of you out because it's wrong. Moving with the moon for me allows me to drop into these places within myself that I am not too much. I am not hiding my emotional self, because my emotional self is who I am, and instead of hiding it, I'm learning to love it. So as we do that, this whole possibility and a new trajectory of I am here and I am ready is coming through with this new moon. But in this balsamic dark moon phase that we are in right now, there is an invitation here to journal into what it is that has been holding you back. If you don't have the Awakened Divine Feminine app, you can download it at any of your app stores, and that app gives you a full moon ritual called Burn and Release. And that burn and release ritual allows you to drop into sacred space. It allows you to come into that space within your own self and ask yourself, consciously and unconsciously, what is it that's been holding me back? Write down everything that arises and then burn it and offer it back to the universe, to the moon, to the earth. If you are not a burner like I am, you can actually speak this to the wind with a sort of caveat that says, I'm releasing the conscious and the unconscious, because we're not always conscious of the things that are holding us back. And as I shared in, I think it was my Instagram story today, there's an element of myself that, actually, no, I shared this in Lunar Woman, and there's an element of myself that I feel like I've gone into the chrysalis, into that. I was a caterpillar, in life, and I've built this cocoon around myself. And inside that cocoon, my entire structure of who I was has been dismantled. It's like every part of me turned to soup. And in that, there was such a deep trust and surrender to a knowing that I would emerge out the other side, that the deep, dark spiral of self-doubt and depression and all of the things that have been arising for me during Scorpio season, there was a trust in that if I did the work, if I showed up for myself instead of having that extra glass of wine or turning on Netflix and sat in meditation or self-reflection with my journal, then I would get through it and I would emerge completely changed. And that is exactly how I am feeling right now. So my invitation, as we begin this activation for this month, to set the scene for the month ahead, use this next 12-hour portal where you can, it's a bit longer than 12 hours. It's probably, it's from now, which is today is the 23rd of November, 2022. And tomorrow morning, say 11 a.m. is the peak of the new moon. So anytime between now and 11, so it's actually 23 hours, we have that space to really get into that dark moon release and letting go. And in this new moon and the dark moon energies, like we're still playing in the dark moon energy as well, it's a dreaming. It's a letting yourself have an invitation to not get stuck in self-limitation, to dream into the infinite field of possibility and to awaken within you the seed of potential that is rising, not what your mind thinks you need. I'd like to manifest in this new moon. My intention would be to draw love to myself. It's like, yeah, lovely. That's great. It's probably an ego intention. But if you drop that into your body and ask, but what lies beneath that? What actually is it that I deeply desire if I'm craving or yearning love from another? And I guarantee you most of the time that will be love for self. That will be, I actually crave and desire a deep love of myself. And what's actually coming through, it's like, well, this is Scorpio season. I'm giving myself complete permission to just say whatever comes up. It's like fire energy, but it's mutable, changeable, big fire energy. And, if you're craving love from another, have you worked out the best way to service yourself in self-pleasure? Is it sex or intimacy with another that you're craving, or is it actually intimacy with yourself? And this is a beautiful sexual healing energy that you can work with. And by working with yourself on self-love, self-worth, self-pleasure, there is no better way to call in a lover, to call in someone at your vibrational energy that will actually meet you in the love of self, that will meet you in, I have done the work and I will meet you where you're at. So, sorry, I digress into a space of, let me just get my thought train back. My thought train, that's a new word for me now too. Let me feel into what's arising. The burn and release, to let go of that which no longer serves you, consciously and unconsciously. And also, as we dream into this new intention for our month moving forward, we have this Sagittarian energy that enlivens our spirit and expands our horizon. It's that dropping into the field of infinite possibility, because we're moving out of that deeply watery, emotional Scorpio into the fiery, mutable, changeable Scorpio. And it's like, it brings a confidence to step out into new horizons. to have new energy, and to bring with that new energy a space within yourself that says, yes, I am ready. I am here. And in this beautiful new moon chart, we have seven planets in this mutable signs, which is changing. And like everything feels like it's changing. Jupiter is also about to start a brand new 12-year cycle. And in that brand new 12-year cycle, it's like beginning a whole new chapter, allowing ourselves to move away from lack, fear, and doubt, and adjusting our energy in a way that calls in abundance, that calls in our deepest desires to become manifest, that gives us greater focus and opportunity for dreaming into this new potential and new possibility for our own new beginning. And as I say to a lot of my clients, to Paige, my daughter, to everyone in this conversation with myself, every breath is a new beginning. Even if you are listening to this or watching this post the new moon, this new moon energy is not just at 11 o'clock tomorrow morning, Australian Daylight Savings Time. This new moon energy portal is, and the Jupiter season actually doesn't come in, I don't think, for another week. And, you know, with all things astrology, with all things energy, it's like this bell curve. It rises and it peaks, but it's like there's this build, and then there's this, you know, petering off, and then this beautiful dance of energy that is available to us anytime we wish to connect. And that is why I do the work that I do, because if we ride these waves of energy and we can actually move with them and stop pushing shit uphill and saying, you know, I have to get up every day and do the same thing day after day, week after week, and push myself to the point of burnout. As a woman, we are not designed to get up every single day and do the same thing day in, day out. We are designed to move with our hormonal system, which flows in the exact same lunation cycle, the infradian rhythm, a 27 to 29 day cycle. And in that cycle, we have, you know, 4 to 8 phases of knowing where our energy's at, what social outings would be great for us, how our productivity be, what foreplay we need, all of those things. And even where we bleed in amongst that lunation cycle is something that, you know, gives us a hint and a pathway into knowing ourselves and what we can do in this portal of energy to help us raise our vibration and bring ourselves into the next evolutionary vibration of ourselves. So Sag is like moving into Sag, it's like moving from the darkness to the light. I don't know about you, but this expansive energy for me is like a breath of fresh air. It is like, yep, I've done it. I've been in the depths and I know I'll go there again. But right now, I am stepping up onto, do you know what vision I'm getting right now? It's like I'm stepping up onto the platform to receive my gold medal for winning the work that I've done with myself. It's not in competition with anyone else. It's like this potency and this potential is oozing through the universe right now, and it is flowing through my body. It is moving through me to a point where I'm able to have greater focus and step into the opportunities that are around me right now. And that darkness to light, it's like the fog and the haze of the deep, dark underworld. You start to see your mindset even dramatically change. We have the ability to really step into here our spiritual development. You see the first sort of, 1 to 8, so Aries all the way through around to Scorpio, there are personal planets. It's like, this is the who am I? What am I here to do? And that Scorpio is almost like, you've learned all these things and now you're here. I'm going to give it all to you and I'm going to churn you up and I'm going to spit some of you out. I'm going to keep some of it and I'm going to show you all your hidden secrets and I'm going to really help you decide what to keep and what not to keep. Throw an eclipse in there, or 2 eclipses in there, whew, it's just huge. And so then we have our Sagittarius to Pisces signs, which are actually your spiritual development. So the invitation here and the activation for this month is going to be, what is my daily devotional practice that will lead me on a path to my greatest potential, to my personal evolution, to being able to be a spiritual being having a human experience? How can I take everything I've learned in this life and stop making excuses? Because my spiritual development is why I am here, and my spiritual development will help me access my gifts, and then my gifts become my magic, and my magic gets shared with the world, and the world becomes a better place. That is like the crux of the beginning of Sagittime. What is your daily devotion? And this is something that I'm inviting you to use as a mantra every single day for this Sagittarius lunation season. What is my daily devotional practice, and how can I, with flexibility, with grace and ease, allow myself to work on creating a daily devotional practice so that I can deepen into understanding myself more than I already do, and stepping into understanding that I already hold the wisdom that I need in this life within me, and to become still, to become silent, to move your body, to do whatever devotional practices you use to bring that into the conscious light of your being, so that you walk your talk, so that you embody your light. My practices, my daily devotional practices, are journaling, are dance and movement, and they are also tracking my astrology transits. But that is, that's because I am an astrology nerd, and I also move with the moon. So I make it really, really clear where I'm at in my cycle and where I'm at in relation to the moon cycle, because my moon cycle's just flipped from being at new moon to where my natal moon sits, which is 3/4 moon. And so being the fact that my cycle's just flipped, almost a week back, and that happened the last day of the closing gathering of the School of Shamanic Womancraft's 4 Seasons journey. It was like an ending. And then my cycle began, which was this fruiting and flower of this new beginning. And in saying that, I was then able to sit with the energies of, okay, if I'm bleeding at 3/4 phase, if my natal moon is at 3/4 phase, what's here that I am missing? And it's this, if you're a natal 3/4 moon phase person, this natal moon phase positions of where your soul chose to incarnate in this lifetime gives us an imprint of our soul's evolutionary journey. And if you're born at a 3/4 moon phase, and I will do a podcast around the natal moon phases in the next week or two, so keep your eye out for that. If you're born in a 3/4 moon phase, the lesson that I am actually being taught by my body right now is that there is a tendency for me to cling to the past. With Scorpio eclipse season ending, Sagittarius season coming, I know now, if I can drop into more of my burn and release, more into my total unbecoming of self, so that I can step into this new moon with a clear and body aligned intention to step into my light, then this is where I choose to go. This is what I choose to be aware of. And it's like, we can only do what we can do with the information we have, but this is my life's work. This is what I do. So being able to use this information for me helped me say, okay, cool. I thought I was doing really well with letting go of the past. Obviously, there's another layer there. And so as I tune into my burn and release, this is where I write all of the unconscious holding onto my past, all of the unconscious things that are keeping me stuck, all of the unconscious things that I am not aware of that are stopping me from stopping me from stepping into my light, this is what I release, conscious and unconscious. And this burden release practice, which I'm going to invite all the women from Lunar Woman to stay with me in a moment as we go through our embodiment practice and stepping into our light and creating our intentions for this month moving forward. Right now, I just invite all of us to just almost feel like I'm getting this water rushing through my body. Like maybe you want to stand up. I'm day 3 of my cycle. I'm staying sitting down. Maybe you just get this sense of something moving through you that allows you to like take off the straitjacket, take off the coats, take off the wetsuit, dig out all the tar. Imagine pulling all the black, dark, negative energy out of yourself and just let it go. Release it. And then I get an activation, which is my shaking. This is something that happens within me. I don't know if you can see it. You definitely can't if you're listening to this on a podcast. But my entire body, when I go through deep practice, goes through this convulsing. And it's like emotions are energy demanding motion. And for so much of my life, I have suppressed my emotions, kept them under a rug and not shown them. So when I sit in this releasing, in this stepping into who I am and owning my gifts, which is my intention for this next lunation cycle, with ease and grace, I am allowing the energy to move through me. And when that happens, my entire body goes into like convulsive states. I had a beautiful sound therapy session with one of the mermaids from the School of Shamanic Womancraft on the weekend as she offered that as her offering. And it was insane how much moved through me. And it's like this movement through me unblocks and makes way for more energy to flow, for more energy to move forward, and for me to move forward. And so, maybe your releasing is dance. Like I dance in meditation most days. I meditate while I'm doing the dishes. I meditate while, I'm sitting at a traffic light in the car. I'll meditate if I'm in a line at the supermarket. This being able to bring meditation into our daily life is something that is a very feminine movement in meditation, way of harnessing Zen and the art of motorcycle maintenance, becoming Zen in everything we do, becoming conscious and giving things 100% of your attention. If you are cooking food, put on some music, elicit the emotion you would wish to be in that food for your family, for your friends, for yourself. If you are self-pleasuring, create a space that's beautiful and evocative and, have intention in everything you do. And in this Scorpio season, as we move through those places within ourselves that, only we can go, we have this awakening of spirit. We have this changeable fire that might bring forth a way of you being something that you didn't even know that was possible for you, because this mutable fire energy is activating it. It is bringing light to the dark. And it's really about right now rethinking your spiritual development, your daily devotional practice. Is there something that you need to shake up? Is there some excuses you need to let go of so that you can do this daily devotional practice? Is there some rigidity around your daily devotional practice that says, if I don't get up first thing in the morning and get this daily devotional practice done, then I don't get it done at all? Why can't you say to yourself, if the morning doesn't work, then I promise myself I'll do it before bed? As mothers, as women, life can get in the way, but making sure that you put yourself first and create a rough schedule of when you can fit this in for yourself. For me, my morning practice is the most important thing that I do, because if I miss it, then I feel like I slip much easier into my fight and flight, into my PTSD state, into my parts of me that just, are on automatic. And instead of doing that, by dropping into self, by checking in with myself every single day, I get that opportunity to consciously co-create the day that happens for me. And there are definitely days where I don't get my morning practice in, and that's where I'm very consciously aware of making everything I do that day a state of meditation. And then I will sit down that night before I go to bed and actually check in with myself. I'll do my gratitudes. I'll do my, if I haven't even had exercise time, I'll give myself exercise time. If I haven't, done any journaling, if I haven't done my dance or my still meditation, depending on where I'm at in my cycle, this is when I get it done. And there is no room in spiritual development and daily devotional practice to blaming, shaming, judging yourself for not getting things done. But there is a very gentle surrendering to witnessing the habits, the excuses that come up and stop us from actually changing the old habits and patterns and stepping into the new. And this is the invitation for your higher self to come through right now and help you set up for this next cycle of your life, your daily devotional practice. So, sister, that is your invitation for this month. I'm inviting all the women from Lunar Woman to stay with me now. And for those listening on the podcast or watching on YouTube, I love you, and I'll see you when I see you, where I see you. And happy, beautiful Scorpio new moon lunation cycle. And I will see you soon.